Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Backlog Banter. I'm Tucker Hazel, and I am at Summer Game Fest talking to Joost and Marcus about Toem 2. From something we made, they made Toem 2, a sequel to a game that I love, and I'm here to talk to you about a game that I just went hands-on with. So let's talk to you first, Joost. What is your role on the game, and how excited are you about showing people Toem 2?
I'm one of two composers, and I'm very excited. If that answers your question, yeah.
Absolutely. And what about you?
I'm the sound designer, so I make all the sound effects and making sure everything sounds as good as possible.
Yeah, so one of the things we talked about while I was playing the game is the voice acting process of this game that is mostly gibberish. These characters don't speak in full sentences. And so let's give people a little bit of a glimpse into what the sound design and voice acting process of creating gibberish is like.
So what we do is Marcus assigns us a character to voice, and then the idea is we make these little voice clips about 30 seconds to a minute long, and we really sort of cartoonishly over the top try and give the character, a bit of character, act out what it would sound like, what they would sound like, and sometimes they will have different emotional states, so they'll be distressed about something or really laid back, really lay into that, really do that over the top, and then Marcus feeds it into Fmod and chops it up into tiny pieces so that it becomes gibberish. That's essentially how it works.
Yeah, and I'm honestly curious, because it's gibberish and because it's just mostly you guys doing the voice acting, do you ever feel like, oh, I did a bad take? Or do you just kind of roll with whatever it is you record?
There's definitely a lot of bad takes,
yes.
Definitely. It can take quite a while to get it right because you really need to overdo it to sell like the emotional state that we want the player to like get as well.
Yeah, so what is the hardest gibberish emotion to portray?
That's a good question. There's some flowers in the game that start out being really chill, really laid back, and then as you talk to them, something happens that makes them sort of distressed. And I think for me that was like the difference between those two. You really have to sell that, and it took me at least 2 tries, I think, before I was able to lay into it enough to sell it. Because when you do chop it up and it becomes gibberish, it really you really need to be overt about it. Otherwise, you're not going to hear that emotional state back into it. So I think it's that, especially that kind of like when it's different, when it's so far apart from each other, it gets difficult. Yeah.
So the final question, and I want to keep this to the voice acting and sound design because that's the theme it seems like we've kind of gone with. When you are recording something that you're going to turn into gibberish, do you have any particular words that you say that you go with that then become the gibberish when you cut it up?
Yeah. Sometimes there's already a script for what the characters are saying. So if we're out of ideas, we just read that aloud in a lot of different mannerisms. And of course, if there is a character with more than one emotional state, you need to okay, what's his character? What's his mannerism? Does he have a lisp? Is he a horse character? Is he a burly character? A scared light character? And then you have to keep that, and then do that happy, sad, angry, and whatnot. So there's layers to the onion, so to speak.
We also we tend to voice the characters in our native languages. So I'm Dutch, so I'll often voice characters in Dutch. A lot of the development team is Swedish, and they'll voice them in Swedish. And I think that adds just another extra little layer of it because you can sort of hear it when, especially, I noticed that characters voiced by Swedish members of the dev team will have a little bit of a Swedish tang to it, if you know what I mean. And I think it adds just a little bit of an extra layer to it.
All right, well, Toem 2, I think it's excellent. I will put a link in the description to wishlist the game on Steam. I'm looking forward to it. When can people look forward to getting their hands on Toem 2?
Next year.
All right, well, thanks everyone for watching. Check out Toem 2, and we'll see you next time.